If you're ever driving on Route 9 after midnight and your phone loses all signal, turn back immediately. My name is Marcus Chen. I was 28 years old when this happened. Today, I no longer know how old I am. Time doesn't work the same way for me anymore. I'm telling you this because I need someone to know, someone to understand. This motel exists somewhere between our world and another. And if you see it, if you catch sight of that blue neon sign flickering in the fog, accelerate. Never stop your car, because I stopped. And now, a part of me will never leave. It all started on a Thursday night in November. I was driving back from a failed job interview in Portland. Another failure to add to my collection. My girlfriend had left me 2 weeks earlier. My landlord was threatening to evict me, and that night, I didn't care what could happen to me. Maybe that's why the motel found me. It smells despair, like sharks smell blood. The fog had risen around 11 o'clock, so thick that my headlights only pierced 3 meters ahead. My GPS displayed strange characters, then shut down completely. My phone, too. Even the radio only picked up a continuous static, almost hypnotic. I should have pulled over and waited until morning, but I kept going, mile after mile through this white fog that swallowed everything. Then I saw it. A weathered wooden billboard emerging from the fog. The hand-painted letters simply said, "Rest," with an arrow pointing right. No name, no logo, just that word. Rest. It was exactly what I needed. I turned. The gravel path crunched under my tires. The fog seemed less dense here, as if I was entering a bubble of clearer air. The motel appeared gradually, an L-shaped structure, maybe 10 rooms, with faded green doors. In the center, an office with a faintly flickering blue neon sign. No cars in the parking lot, no lights in the windows. But the open sign was lit. I cut the engine. The silence was absolute. No wind, no crickets, nothing. Just that neon buzzing softly. Getting out of the car, I noticed something strange. The gravel under my feet made no sound, as if the ground absorbed all noise. The air smelled of ozone, like before an electrical storm, but the sky was invisible behind the fog. The office door opened without me pushing it. Inside, the lighting was yellow and sickly. An old Formica counter, a calendar on the wall stuck on July 1987, and behind the counter, a man. Or at least, something that looked like a man. He was huge, at least 2 meters tall, and so thin that his clothes hung on his body like on a hanger. His skin had the color of yellowed newsprint, but it was his eyes that froze me. Entirely black, no white, no pupil. Just 2 black holes observing me without blinking. "Good evening, Mr. Chen," he said in a perfectly normal voice, almost friendly. "A room for the night?" "How do you know my name?" I asked, my voice trembling. "You signed the register when you came in." I hadn't signed any register. But when I looked at the old book open on the counter, my name was there, in handwriting that looked like mine but wasn't quite mine. Marcus Chen, Room 7. One night. It's free for new customers, he added, pushing a key toward me. Room 7. End of the hallway. Only one rule, Mr. Chen. Never knock on Room 6, no matter what you hear. Understood? I should have left. Run to my car and drive into the fog without looking back. But I was exhausted, confused, and part of me wanted to understand. I took the key. It was warm in my hand, as if someone had just been holding it. Good night, Mr. Chen. Enjoy your rest. Room 7 was the last door on the right. The hallway smelled musty and something sweeter, like dead flowers. The wall sconces diffused a flickering light. Walking, I noticed the door numbers were weird. 1, 3, 3, 9, then 6, and finally 7. 2 rooms had the number 3. I opened the door. The room was bland. A double bed with a brown bedspread, a small TV on a dresser, a narrow bathroom. Everything was clean but old, frozen in the 80s. I put down my bag and sat on the bed. The springs squeaked loudly, too loudly, breaking the oppressive silence. That's when I heard the music. A violin playing a slow, melancholy melody. It was coming from room 6, right next door. I approached the wall and listened. The music was beautiful, almost hypnotic. Then it stopped abruptly. Silence. Then a voice, a woman's voice, soft and pleading. Please, please knock on my door. I've been alone for so long. I just need to talk to someone. Please. My fist rose instinctively toward the wall to knock back, but I remembered, never knock on room 6. My hand dropped. You're there. I know it, the voice continued. I can feel your warmth through the wall. You're alive. You're real. Help me. He keeps me here. He'll never let me go. But if you knock, if you answer me, maybe I can... Her voice transformed. The soft tone became deep, hoarse, inhuman. Maybe I can finally feed. I backed away from the wall as if it were on fire. My heart was pounding so hard I thought it would explode. Then came the laughter, a high-pitched, demented laughter that went on and on until I covered my ears screaming to stop hearing it. When I opened my eyes again, silence had returned. I looked at my watch. It was stopped at midnight exactly. I tried the TV. Snow on all channels except 1. Channel 3 showed the motel hallway, filmed from a fixed camera. I could see my door, the door to room 7. And in front of my door, a silhouette stood motionless, its back to me. It was the woman from room 6. I knew it without knowing how. She wore a white dress that dragged on the floor. Her long black hair covered her back. She didn't move at all, like a statue. I stared at the screen, hypnotized, terrified. Then, very slowly, her head began to turn. Not her body, just her head, rotating 180 degrees, like an owl. And I saw her face. No face, just a smooth surface of pale skin. No eyes, no nose, no mouth. Nothing. She raised her hand and knocked on my door. 3 slow, deliberate knocks. Knock, knock, knock. I couldn't move anymore. On the screen, she stood there, this faceless thing, waiting for me to open. The knocking started again, louder. The wood of the door trembled. Then a voice, that same soft voice from the beginning, whispered through the wood. Marcus. Open the door, Marcus. I can help you. I know a way out of here. But you must trust me. You must open. No, I whispered. No, no, no. The knocking turned into pounding, violent punches that made the whole room vibrate. Objects fell from the dresser. The ceiling light bulbs started flickering, and that voice, now multiple, as if 100 people were speaking in unison, was now screaming. Open! Open! Let us in! We're hungry, Marcus! So hungry! Then suddenly, everything stopped. Complete silence. On the TV screen, the hallway was empty. No woman, no silhouette. Just a deserted hallway under its trembling light. My watch had started again. 3 in the morning. I spent the rest of the night huddled in the corner farthest from the door. All senses on alert. Every creak made me jump. Around 6 o'clock, I saw gray light filtering under the door. Dawn. I rushed outside. The fog had dissipated. I could see the forest around the motel, the sky brightening. My car was still there. Everything seemed normal, almost banal in the daylight. I ran to the office to return the key and leave. Immediately. The man was still behind the counter, exactly in the same position. Leaving already, Mr. Chen? You've only spent a single eternity with us. A single night, I corrected, throwing the key on the counter. He smiled, revealing too many teeth, too sharp. "Did room 6 treat you well? I respected your rule. I didn't knock." His smile widened even more. "Oh, but Marcus, who said it was you who had to knock? The rule said not to knock on room 6, not to ignore those who knock on your door. You see the difference?" My blood ran cold. "What do you mean?" He pointed to the window behind me. "Look at your car, Mr. Chen." I turned around. My car was still there, but something was different. The windows were fogged from the inside, and on the rear window, traced in the fog, a message. "Thank you. You fed something last night," said the man behind me. "Your fear, your terror, that's the rent here. Some pay with their sleep, others with their health. You paid with your time." "My time? Look more closely at your reflection in the window." I approached the window. The man looking back at me had my features, but his hair was streaked with gray. Wrinkles surrounded his eyes. I looked 10 years older. "One night here equals 10 years outside," he explained calmly. "Time flows differently in places that don't really exist. You're free to leave now. But the next time you need rest, when you're lost in the fog, when despair eats at you, we'll be there. We're always there for those who need us." I ran to my car, started at full speed, and drove without stopping until I found a road I recognized. I checked my phone. 10 years. 10 years had passed. All my contacts thought I was dead. My life from before no longer existed. But here's the worst part. Sometimes late at night, when I'm tired and lost, I see that sign in the fog. Rest, with its arrow. And part of me wants to turn again, wants to go back there. Because now, I understand. The motel doesn't trap you. It offers you exactly what you're looking for. A place to escape. A place where time doesn't matter. A place where your problems can't follow you. That's why I'm warning you. If you see this motel, you're already lost. And if you enter, a part of you will never come out. Me, Marcus Chen, I'm 38 years old now, but I've only lived that one night. The rest is just waiting to go back there. Because the motel never really lets you go. It always keeps you somewhere in its impossible hallways, in its bizarrely numbered rooms. And one day, you too will become the voice that begs behind the door.